card that it won't be done in the next week.
I'm not so concerned about that as the fact that there are still no cameras and that there is no locks on the doors.
Right, the locksmith's coming on Tuesday. Patrick referred us to this locksmith in Sonoma he prefers that we use. The earliest day he could get here was Tuesday. The camera should be here today. I have a credit card, so Amazon flagged it. I had to get information from the bank to unflag it, so those cameras should be here any day, and that's an easy, they're consumer-based cameras. That's an easy setup. We've been talking about the doorbell at the front. That's another easy setup. We just have to select one. Jeff's done a really simple-looking one today.
Right, and that's in case you guys don't know, we've had the conversation in light of some of the stuff that's been going on. I requested a shade that can be raised and lowered for the window inside the studio. Thursday nights I kind of got creeped out being there all by myself and having a direct view inside the studio from the street, so I would like to be able to lower a shade. And I also would like to have a camera outside with that monitor we have in the studio. I understand it can be split screened so that we can see what's going on outside on half that screen inside the studio for whenever people are there by themselves. It gets kind of crazy out there at night. I leave at 9 o'clock and sometimes there's stuff going on at the Phoenix which makes it kind of crazy, and even Volpe's. I mean, it's just downtown. It's just downtown stuff that everybody's concerned about, so I wanted a
And
camera.
kind of a fish tank wing in the studio too, so it's kind of, I get it,
I
yeah.
also...
We got the curtains for the studio.
Right, the doorbell we're talking about, I suggested is a flashing light in the studio that if you have a guest, let's say you're doing a late night show and you have a guest that's coming in, that guest is gonna hit the doorbell because there's no way to get in, and there'll be a flashlight, strobe light in the studio so that you know that they're there. You can look up at the monitor and see who it is before you actually come out and let them in. So just trying to make a more secure environment. Okay.
Yeah, I agree, and that's, the key cards, I mean, it's coming together. It just takes a little longer to input each person. And yeah, I think that is the answer to all your questions. The camera should be here any minute. I don't think they're difficult to put up, so it should be, again, by next week. I think everything should be locked in place. No pun intended.
Are we putting in the cameras? Are we installing them?
Yeah, the ones that we're just getting like a consumer-based one. Jeff found a really great deal with they need their own drive to save things. So we got a lot of them save things for 30 days. We decided we don't really need that. It's much more expensive. This one's only like a 5-day. Enough bandwidth to save for 5 days, and there's going to be 4 inside the studio other than the doorbell. I'm going to talk to the landlord. I'm surprised there's not some kind of external security system, given that we have the Shabbat Center right next door and there's so much anger and toxicity in there. I mean, maybe Patrick would spring for that when I put it that way. It's strange to me that there's no cameras there at all.
Is there issues going on next door?
No,
Oh,
just in the world.
oh okay.
Issues that could happen.
I don't know if they were the target of anything weird, so.
Anytime, whenever I drive by the synagogue on Passover, there's like an armed guard out front, so that's always alarming,
In Germany, they're all...
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be paranoid, but, I'd rather be paranoid than sorry later. So.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and I don't think we're being paranoid. I just want to ensure the safety of everybody that comes in and out of the studio.
And it's like you said, Cindy, there's other people that are in there at night too, and it's not, it's just weird. You're in there and there's glass looking in, and, you're just in there.
And I didn't even think about this. Our insurance company probably needs to know that we have people entering outside of regular business hours, and they perhaps would give us some kind of a break, being as we have such tight security.
That's a good idea.
So, Richard?
So we're installing the cameras, which there are cameras on brackets that get screwed into the wall.
Yeah.
And then we're also going to wire those to some central unit or
Yeah, they go to
ourselves.
Yeah, they go to a DVR. Yeah, that's Jeff's background, I guess, is security cameras. And it's all consumer-based, so I think it's not a huge challenge to get that stuff going. I just need to get it. I mean, I ordered it 10 days ago. Like I said, Amazon flagged it. We did a lot of research to find the most, inexpensive yet correct item. So, and then the doorbell we looked at today, I thought was great. It was like $20 one-time fee. It had a flashing light, so it was for the deaf. We looked at it.
Yeah, that one that I forwarded to you was just one that I
Yeah.
I just went doorbells for deaf.
Yeah.
because I couldn't think of what, something that's not audible. and
I
it's
wouldn't have
more
thought of that, so
visual.
yeah.
Yeah,
Does that answer your question about the keyless stuff? Okay.
okay, so no action on that, we can be done with that. Item 10C is discussion on possible action on the May 20th Lagunitas fundraising event for KPCA. Judy,
Yeah, so we met, we're in a really great place other than some of the paperwork, which I will be turning in this week, but I needed to get the insurance stuff, and were you able to go over that?
John asked me to email the insurance ladies. They said he said she'll send a rider over. It's very common practice, and
Yeah.
I emailed her today.
Okay.
Her and Nellie and I were going over some stuff last week that I don't think got resolved, but Nellie's out for the week, so
Sure.
I let her know that as well, but I don't think that'll affect the rider. I
Okay.
think it's very common, John said it's really easy to get.
It is.
Additionally insured thing.
It just shows that we have X amount of insurance and that we're covered for the event.
For the amount that they're
It's
asking.
like the Lagunitas thing, they sent us the,
That's why, yeah, I sent that to
It was
you,
easy
so
to-
there's no question
yeah.
about what it is. Yeah, and then I got the food thing from Dominic, so I guess once I send that, get that over to Jen, which I know she has today and yesterday events that she's dealing with,
All right.
then I can find out what might be left, because I know there's a few other things. So really, the next steps are, we need volunteers. I think I sent that in an email to you, Dawn and Cindy,
yeah,
and you guys,
yes.
the committee. So, that's important. I'd rather start earlier than later, but I kind of will leave that to common sense, if that makes any sense. And what was the other thing?
Hold on, do we need volunteers, we need to take tickets to the door, and what else?
It was in the list I sent.
It was in the list, okay.
It's all, I basically took their list and said, this is what we need.
Perfect.
About
Food
6 different
service.
items.
I'm sorry?
About 6 different items.
Yeah, and the food thing will be really easy. It's not like we're sitting there serving platefuls of stuff. It's all prepackaged once people order, and if they don't order ahead of time, okay, you have a burrito, is that what you want? Here's your burrito. So I figure we can work in shifts if it gets too weird, but it shouldn't take too long. There's one other thing.
Do you need your list? I have it.
Food items, no, I didn't.
Buffet servers.
But say, that was it. It was just, since everything's prepackaged, it shouldn't really matter. Oh, yeah, I got it. And I'll send over what time, all the information. Actually, you guys should just have this list from Lagunitas, and I believe you do. Yeah, so check-in and ticketing, buffet, that's easy. Clearing tables. They're really great about clearing tables as they go, but I figure all of us, if we see something, if it's an empty glass, just bring it over the tub. It's not a big deal. And then if there are underage kids, they have to be monitored or watched. If they're, the places that are a little, what are you doing over there, kid? Those things have to be watched. Other than that, it's pretty well on target for everything at this point.
And what about donations for raffle?
That was the thing. I didn't know what the name of the letter was. So I've been to 4 places. They've all asked. Sorry?
A plea letter.
Well, there's something, and the guy over at the people at Gator said, oh, just get us the letter of blah, blah, and
Oh, we have it.
I need it, or a copy, and I
I'll
guess I
find
need a
it.
few copies, because
Just
every
see,
place
We
needs.
can use the template that we had for TEP, yeah,
Perfect.
the envelope.
It's called a plea letter?
Well, I don't know what it's called in
Okay,
the
that's,
files.
that'll remind me what it is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, so,
Unfortunately, Nellie would know that piece of information.
of course.
I can ask John.
It's a donation letter.
I'll double
Yeah.
check she sent me a whole bunch of stuff, but maybe it's nested in there somewhere, so I'll double check that. But really, that's the next step is, and I guess if you're the person to ask, send out, emails to our members, to our programmer
Mhm.
people, that we need to solicit donations.
Exactly, and Rob could mention in that letter to the programmers that they could be fulfilling their 3-hour
Thank you.
mandatory volunteer time through this event.
Yes, and I will send you a list of the places I have hit or are about to hit.
Okay,
just so you
yeah, we should do some kind of spreadsheet so people don't
That
start
way people
voting the
aren't
same
jumping.
people. Yeah.
Totally. So other than that, I feel pretty good about where we're at with all this, other than the fact that it got to the website. There's nothing about it. That's it. Other than that, it's pretty well on target.
And so is everything covered? You don't need any seed money or anything?
We'll need seed money. I think I'm just going to call Fishman's, which is interesting that I guess it's the same place that gave us a big donation.
Neil is separate, it's Leland too.
Right, this is Leland,
Yeah.
that's Lee's business and.
Right.
Right, and
Okay.
he's,
And you know
Neil's
these
brother.
people?
yeah,
Okay, so maybe, if I get their number, I can drop their name and say, hey, it was suggested by Cindy, I call you, we're looking for
Right.
flatware, we wanna use compostable or whatever. That'd be great, because that would be the next step, I just, probably get a sense of how much we need, since a lot of the, that's something I need to check with Dominic or Senior CISIG, whether, like, their tacos are actually on plates or wrapped.
If they're wrapped in foil or whatever, yeah, that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Well, some people might want
So
to.
I think, you
It'll
know.
definitely cut into the amount of cutlery and flatware and stuff in there.
We can always
Exactly.
have leftovers.
Yeah, because they'll always get used, and I'd rather.
We might have some, I mean, let me
We
look.
have a bunch of plastic stuff.
Okay.
I know that, and it does need to get used with the point in some ways, but I'd rather what we're presenting at
compostable would be better.
I'd rather present that as our thing, and if we need at the station to use some plastics, it's there.
Can the money we have set aside, it was under tap and thing, but can that be used for like printing posters?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
just take it out of there, that's the line item. It could be anybody that can answer this. Okay, yeah, I mean, those posters are really nice,
Yes.
so that you get around town, yeah.
Right, and in
Yeah,
fact,
so
the
we'll
purchase
post it.
from Fishman's could also come out of that. If it goes over, then we can approve to,
It's like $3,000 and it's only,
okay,
yeah, I think it's
All
just
right.
okay.
I think it shouldn't even hit that.
okay.
It's a lot of
And that
posters.
could be another volunteer opportunity too, is for people to go out and get
Exactly.
posters.
Agreed.
Okay, thank you for the update and the work.
You're welcome.
We are done with old business. Under item 11, new business, we have a discussion and possible action on marketing.
Almost forgot. So I did some research on the marketing and made a little packet just so you could